We'll begin the remarks today in the opening session by Dr. John Anderson, a friend, colleague, former member of the National Science Board, who served with us together, and presently the president of the National Academy of Engineering. Our bios are held in another area, which I'll describe here in a minute, but I'm going to go without too much more introduction. Dr. Anderson, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dan, and welcome and good morning. This symposium came about as a result of a request from the National Science Foundation, and in particular, their Directorate for Engineering. The NSF asked the National Academy of Engineering to organize an event that highlights how their investments in engineering education, research, careers, institutions have led to world-changing innovations. The intent is threefold: promote better public understanding of the vital role of engineering in government, business, and society. Secondly, highlight the creative nature of engineering. And thirdly, inspire young people from all segments of society to consider pursuing a career in engineering. In the year 2000, the NAE announced the 20 greatest engineering achievements in the 20th century, as determined by a poll among technologists and engineers. Number one on that list of the top 20 for the 20th century was electrification. In 1900, only less than 1% of households had electricity. And by the end of the century, 99+% of households had access to electricity. And now we find ourselves challenged to expand electrification as we focus on renewable energy, Internet of Things, large-scale computing, and et cetera. Number four on that list of greatest achievements of the 20th century is potable water and its distribution. And this is still a global problem. Not so much a problem in the United States, but still a problem in parts of the United States. Number 8 on that list was computers. And this ranking was done before smartphones and before iPads. Air conditioning and refrigeration. Those of us that live in Washington, D.C. treasure this one, especially the air conditioning part. If you're in Washington in the summer, you'll know what I mean. Number 13 is the internet, now becoming the Internet of Things. And number 20 on the list of the greatest 20 achievements of the 20th century is high performance materials. This will always be on the list because the need for advanced materials is ubiquitous, and the scarcity of critical elements might limit innovations going forward. All 20 greatest achievements of the 20th century touch people in a significant way. In 2008, the National Academy of Engineering announced its list of 14 global grand challenges, many of which touch on the two major global challenges of our time: climate change and pandemics. And progress has been made on some of these challenges. These engineering achievements and challenges underlie the importance of engineering to society and were made possible from funding by the National Science Foundation and other federal agencies. The return on investment by our government's support in terms of improving health, security, and standard of living in our society is obvious. Let me touch briefly on the question of what is engineering. We could spend all afternoon or all day on this, but let me, from my point of view, Theodore von Karman kind of hit the essence. He's the father of aeronautical engineering and the first recipient of the Presidential Medal of Science. Succinctly define the essence of engineering as the following: engineers create what never was. I'll say that again. Engineers create what never was. Engineering is about creating and problem solving. Note also that engineer is both a noun and a verb, the verb implying action, sometimes without complete scientific understanding. Engineering is the connector between science and technology. Engineering can be thought of, in my mind, as the expression of science on society. And the greatest results come from synergies between engineering and science because each one informs the other. NSF has been a seed of innovation for 70 years. During these 2 days, we will celebrate extraordinary engineering achievements that resulted from support by the National Science Foundation since its founding some 70 years ago. Let me start with a little history on the place of engineering in the NSF. I have a long-standing association with NSF as a recipient of research funding and as a member of the National Science Board, as Dan noted, which oversees the NSF. Since its founding in 1950, NSF has been a funder of engineering and computer science research and education, even though there were no directorates of engineering and computer science and engineering. The grants for which I was PI between 1971 and 81 were funded by divisions within math and physical sciences. There was no directorate of engineering, no directorate of computer or information science and engineering. Proposals in these fields were funded by various divisions and programs throughout the NSF. In 1981, under the leadership of NEE member John Slaughter, then the director of the NSF, the engineering directorate was formed. Then in 1986, SICE, Computer Information Science and Engineering Directorate, was formed. At the National Academy of Engineering, we consider computer science and engineering to be a critical segment of the engineering enterprise, along with everything else. Approximately 20% of our members identify computer science and engineering as their field of expertise. This year, a new directorate for technology, innovation, and partnership is being formed at NSF. This directorate is aimed at increasing the competitiveness of the nation by guiding the findings of basic research toward innovation. So over the past 40 years, NSF has recognized the value of engineering research and education on a platform equivalent to that of the sciences, which leads to more synergy between science and engineering to the benefit of our society. The strength of NSF has been not only in its personnel, but also in its evolving organizational structure and programs that complete the continuum of science, engineering, technology. This symposium is about celebrating the role of NSF in promoting societal economic impact through engineering achievements and innovation. Propelling the achievements are people, and their stories are as important as the achievements themselves. These stories are meant to inspire all of us, especially young persons who have embarked on a career in engineering or are thinking about joining the engineering profession. These stories are meant to inspire, motivate, and connect. This symposium is special. We are fortunate to have assembled an all-star committee of experts to shape this event, complete the following consensus reports, and plan activities that will follow the report. The committee of 12 includes 6 members of the National Academy of Engineering. It is led by member Dan Arvizu, Chancellor of the New Mexico State University System, as he noted. Dan has also served, as he mentioned, as the chair of the National Science Board, so he is very familiar with the National Science Foundation. I'd like to thank Dan and the other committee members for their hard work that has resulted in this wonderful symposium. It is a testament to their efforts that we have the caliber of speakers that you will hear today and tomorrow. And what a group of speakers it is. You'll hear stories about the people responsible for some of the engineering achievements that have become part of our everyday lives, and from others who are working on the leading edge of technology that will bring forth the next generation of marvelous innovations. It is going to be a fascinating couple of days, and I'm happy that you will be part of it. Thank you for attending. And with that, I'll turn the microphone back over to Dan Arvizu. Dan?
Thank you, John, and thank you for those inspirational words and a little bit of historical perspective on what this particular panel is really seeking to understand and to tease out. Very excited about what is about to occur here over the next couple of days.